Alright you guys, welcome back. Here behind me is, one of the most ridiculous AMG vehicles and one of the most ridiculous SUVs on the market today. Brand new 2021 GLE63 AMG S, which means, yes, it includes the EQ Boost electric motor system. Okay, BiTurbo V8 under the hood, 603 horsepower, 627 pound-feet of torque. GLE63 AMG starting at $133,000 Canadian. This one behind me here goes for $150,000. And this is not a vehicle I would normally drive on the channel, but because this segment of vehicles in the market has got way out of hand, absolutely out of control, I'm incredibly curious to see what buyers of these vehicles are actually getting out of an experience of an incredibly heavy SUV that is also able to put an incredible amount of torque down to the ground and still retain, hopefully, some of the AMG dynamics that you would come to expect from, let's say, a C-Class or an E-Class AMG, something that's lower down to the ground and has a little bit more kind of tactile feel to it. Because clearly, SUVs like the DBX, the Model X, the Lamborghini Urus, and the Cayenne are selling, okay, as ridiculous as they are to me. So this one we're driving today, behind me is the Coupe version. Let's get in, go for a drive, and see how it does. In 2021, the V8 alone, the V8 aspect of it alone, the 4-liter BiTurbo V8, is automatically right out of the gate just giving a huge middle finger to vehicles like the Tesla Model X and otherwise, especially plug-in hybrids in the segment. But AMG here has stuck with the quote-unquote traditional handcrafted V8 assembled in Germany, of course. If you pop the engine bay, you will see that quintessential AMG handcrafted badge. Okay, so lots going on with the GLE63 AMG. Of course, we have a number of dynamic AMG modes, which option here, the AMG Dynamic Select on the steering wheel, is a must-have in my opinion, especially if your inclination is to push the car a little bit, push the truck a little bit, so at least you have a little bit more control there. I frankly love it. On the left here, you have 2 buttons in which you can quickly change basically any number of modes or settings on the car as it pertains to performance. So with the AMG Air Ride adaptive dampers, we do have variable height adjustment, as well as the height adjustment will stay level regardless of the load on the suspension, the weight in the vehicle. So here in sport mode, it has been lowered a little bit, which in fact does lower the center of gravity and increases or reduces drag, rather increases fuel economy, and that will automatically happen as well above a certain speed. Also, exclusive to the GLE is trail mode. So the suspension will actually lift the vehicle and give you an extra, I believe it's just over 2 inches of ground clearance in trail mode. And then we also have sand mode. 627 pound-feet of torque. Yes, under the hood, 4-liter BiTurbo AMG V8 with the hot set of turbos. And the reason why it's called that is because the turbos are located in the V to reduce turbo lag. What I found really interesting is this EQ hybrid system that we have here, the GLE63 being a hybrid while also kind of not being a hybrid. It's not a plug-in hybrid. So instead, what the EQ does is it's mainly there for performance. One of the things that it can do, is capable of doing, and what helps make the turbo spool and the torque delivery so seamless is that it powers an electronic compressor that can feed up to 8 pounds of boost to the turbos or to the engine before the turbos actually spool up, or as the turbos are spooling up. So talk about reduced turbo lag. AMG has gone to excessive lengths to keep the spirit of the NA feeling power band here in the GLE63, which is why this is the anti-Tesla. The GLE63, no doubt, when we look back 5-10 years from now, will be one of the last big V8 turbocharged SUVs on the market. In fact, the other day I saw Mercedes did in fact announce their very first all-electric SUV and sedan. Just scary fast. Pretty seamless regardless of RPM. You could be at 2,000 RPM in here in 6th gear, and you've just got spine-crushing torque coming through. That brings me to another point. This AMG V8 is not bespoke to really anything in the AMG lineup. It is found in the AMG GT as well as most other AMG products. Now, does that make the GLE any less special? I mean, I wouldn't really consider any SUV incredibly special to begin with. That's just me. I mean, it is absolutely incredible the amount of speed you can carry through tight corners like this. And while yes, I would say the X5M feels more planted. There we go. Tire chirp on the inside. The GLE absolutely errs more on the side of luxury. And what I love here, absolutely, one of the many things, is that when you switch down into comfort mode, the GLE is compliant. The GLE is comfortable. The GLE is quiet when you need it to be. In race mode, of course, that comes with one of my favorite features in this car and in any other true AMG is Amg Track Pace, which we're definitely going to try out here. Warning, activation in use on closed off tracks away from public traffic. So essentially, this is what you do when you get to a racetrack, or in the case of us, a closed course. We can do a 0 to 60 time. See what we can do. We'll keep it in automatic mode. It'll give us lights, and then on green, we go for it. Wow, exhaust opens right up. 2 exhaust modes, balanced and then powerful. If you want the full AMG crackles. Not too many crackles on the overrun, which I kind of enjoy, but it seems like it would be a lethargic and slow to respond vehicle, but in fact, with 4MATIC Plus here, the AMG's default is to send 100% of the torque to the rear wheels there, and then it will send torque to the front as necessary, which is fantastic. Now, you think that just sounds good on paper, which it does, and no, this does not have what the CLA 45 AMG in the United States has, which is of course drift mode and a number of other AMGs. Well, it does not have drift mode. It does have a very welcome rear-wheel drive bias, and I could really feel that in coming out of certain corners. You absolutely do feel that rear end step out just a little bit on throttle, which is a phenomenal attribute that AMG is able to carry over from their much lower vehicles into something with this height. Not only height, but weight. Weighing in a curb weight of just over 5,300 pounds. All of this technology, the 4MATIC all-wheel drive, in combination with that and the adjustable anti-roll bars, I mean, the mission here is to mask the weight, is to keep the performance, to bring that AMG essence here, and to also at the same time mask the weight. I mean, aside from the V8 roar, which even in balanced mode is somewhat inescapable, we saw this steering wheel in the CLA45 AMG I drove, and it works wonderfully here. This one is not Alcantara, it's perforated leather here, and there's leather everywhere in here as well. This one on the interior has been spec'd out with the carbon fiber package. You can also get it with a brilliant kind of matte finish, or I should say unfinished wood material on the sides here if you want that more luxury and organic feel to it. And then of course, new for this generation are the dual screens here, both 12.3 inches, both incredibly bright, both incredibly vibrant. Worthy to note here, this one that we're driving today has been spec'd with the premium package, $7,900 here in Canada. And with that comes a number of options which I find to be, I mean, if you're spending this much on an SUV anyway, I think these are must-haves. It does come with the heads-up display. I'll say it here, this is the best heads-up display I've ever seen on a vehicle. Straight up. And while it does have that upside going for it, it has an incredible amount of options and customizability. You could be going in and adjusting what's on the left side of the heads-up display, what's in the center, and what's on the right side. That's how big the heads-up display is. 1,000 RPM is on the center line, and then your red line, 8,000 RPM, is literally like over there in the ditch. So talk about eye scanning as the rev's going up. It's a game in and of itself to try to multitask what your eyes are doing and what your eyes are focusing on in the road here. It's just fascinating to see what they've been able to do here. It is distracting though. Did that sound distracting? It is. It actually caught me off guard. The first time I got in the car and started driving, I had a bit of a chuckle. Now the 9-speed here is new for this generation. The outgoing 7-speed is gone. It is a torque converter, it's not a dual clutch. That being said, it's, you know, the speed shift 9-speed is good, although I have experienced a few inconsistencies. It could feel a little bit lazy at times, especially if you're erring on the side of sports driving. Performance scenarios, you definitely have to time your downshifts though if you're in manual mode. Variable ratio steering rack in comfort and in sport is a little bit more forgiving, whereas in Sport Plus and in race it is incredibly direct. The weight doesn't really change that much, but the directedness of the steering absolutely tightens up and becomes more precise, although steering feel here is not something I would call really game-changing. Of course, when you're slinging around the equivalent weight of a small mobile home, it's not to be expected. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This is the GLE63 AMG S 4MATIC Plus. Just a leviathan of substance, power, excess, and luxury. Thanks guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit me up on Instagram at Untraveled. We'll be filming a lot more vehicles soon. Probably no SUVs in the near future, but I promise you some cool things are on the horizon. So thanks guys. We'll see you very soon.